Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fairy Tail 100 Years Quest Chapter 24. When we last left off, we had the pretty disappointing conclusion to the Mercfovia arc, as an arc that was all about having to, make the hard choices and take out Mercfovia, even though he wasn't to blame for his actions, but he still couldn't really be stopped otherwise, ended with him not dying, which was weird, and not what the arc was leading to at all. But yeah, there still is the kind of lingering plot thread of what Natsu did by consuming Ignia's flames. But we'll see where all that pans out in the future. So let's jump right on into Chapter 24, All Right Results. Our picture is of, I think that's Lucy at Blue Pegasus, but because it's Blue Pegasus, it might be Jenny, but it definitely looks more like Lucy than Jenny. I'm not sure. Anyway. With this parfum, I will steal you tonight. That's Ichiya for you. Whatevs. Anyway, we're still in Elmina. They're talking to Mercfovia. Ignia came? Here? I see. I thought the flames in the city came from you, but don't blame it all on me. And Lucy just looks at him. Half of it is your fault. I wouldn't say half of those flames were Natsu's. For Ignia to have come here and for you all to be alright. It's unbelievable. That fire dragon? Who was he? And we see Mercfovia looks kind of scared of Ignia. One of the 5 god dragons. The fire god dragon, Ignia. There used to be a fire dragon named Ignil. Ignia is the one who inherited his bloodline. What? The rest of the cast who has not heard this from Natsu, I imagine, are understandably shocked. In that case, he is Ignil's child? I see. So that's why he knew Natsu. And that gets Mercfovia's attention, of course. And I imagine there's a bit of an explanation here, because the next time we cut to is Mercfovia. Natsu, you were raised by Ignil? I see. That explains the reason why Ignia came to take a look at this situation himself. Since Ignil's son is committing bad deeds on this continent, I have to punish him, right? And Mercfovia looks down for a second, then raises up to look at Natsu again. It's hard to say, but he isn't someone you can defeat. And everyone is, shocked by that. Not only Ignia, but the other god dragons will be no match for you all. I imagine that's the other way around. Because if the god dragons are no match for them, that means they'll win. But I think that should say that they're no match for the god dragons. Just judging by what Mercfovia has been saying. But Natsu responds, doesn't matter. Once they decide to do it, we'll do it. That's how we work as a guild. And Gray leans over. Can't you tell us all you know about the god dragons? We came to this land purely for that purpose. Mercfovia kind of closes his eyes. I haven't had the chance to meet any of them for quite a while now, so I can't tell you where they are. I do owe all of you, so I'll give you all the information I can give. For Ignia, as I told you earlier, he's the fire god dragon, and a rather belligerent one, and we see Ignia again in his very Ignil-esque design. He has destroyed countless countries. The fact that Elmina still remains is a miracle. And we see him, bringing down, pillars of fire on countries. Happy just, freezes in panic. But Natsu just glares. Next is the wood god dragon, Aldron. He is the biggest god dragon in the world. It is said that he can read people's minds with his powers. The moon god dragon, Selene. A powerful dragon who uses the power of the stars. Metal god dragon, Beerness. I don't have anything about this one. I've never met him. Even though you were also a god dragon yourself? We didn't really decide on our own to be called god dragons. People eventually started to talk about our bad deeds, and we ended up getting that name. How did doing bad deeds get you the name god? 5 evil dragons would have worked. And Caramel also adds, it is pretty weird. When humans face a huge, powerful being, they would often feel fear and praise it as a god. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. So anyway, all 5 god dragons have never actually met all at once. So we don't know a lot about each other. Oh, that's Mercfovia talking, my bad. I was doing that in a caramel voice. In any case, thank you for the information. And Urza rises. I said I didn't know the location of all 4, but I have an idea for one of them. For real? And Natsu jumps up. As I said earlier, it's not someone you can defeat. Do you still want to go? And Natsu just grins. Meanwhile, so then we cut to sometime later. Elmina's the town. Caramel and Mercovia are on the lip of a roof, in a scene very reminiscent of their introduction way back in chapter 3, watching, Team Natsu leave town. They're leaving. Yeah. And Caramel looks down for a second. Water God Dragon? I'm sorry. Because I asked that white mage. Oh, what did she ask Toka for? I don't think we knew that she was the one who brought Toka to Mercovia, right? I don't know. I might have just been forgetting something. The results are all right, aren't they? The Water God Dragon has died. The calamity around the city is gone now. Restoring the city, living with its people, and living like a human. There's no better pleasure. Water God Dragon, call me Mercphobia. And Caramel smiles with tears in her eyes. No, it's been too long since I've been calling you that. What? Then just Merc would work. Merc-sama. It sounds good. Then we cut to Team Natsu, who are in the wilderness, the very, very weird wilderness of Giltena. It's been a while since we've been here. And Lucy's leading the pack for some reason. She's not normally this fired up about things. Our next objective is the center of the Giltena continent. And Natsu cheers up behind her. I'm all fired up! And Gray is kind of grimacing. You weren't expecting us to go there on foot, right? We have no choice. There's no train out here. Huh? I thought there were, though. Well, on the map we've been given, I don't think there was a route for... She looks at the map, and there's a fucking eraser mark. Natsu! Wendy! Don't tell me you erased it! We don't want to write it! I didn't do anything! And Urza's chasing Natsu and Wendy around. Halt! Yeah! I didn't do anything! And Carla turns to Happy. How did they erase it? They scratched it a lot until the paper was almost torn out. But Gray and Lucy are looking over the map now. There is clearly a train line going to the center from the city next to here. Then let's head up there first then, to Tekka City. To Tekka City and then to the center of Giltena. What lies there is Giltena continent's largest city, Draseel. Is it a beautiful city like Crocus and Ishgar? Anyway, there's supposedly info about one of the god dragons there, the wood god dragon Aldron, and we see that Lucy is writing in her diary. It's said to be the largest dragon in the world, but a dragon of wood. It should be weak against fire, I guess. Then with Natsu's fire, it might be an easy win, right? And we see her smiling, and then her smile fades, and she flashes back to Ignia, or the Ignia power in Natsu. And that moment of terror. I'm glad we're not completely shoving that under the radar. After what happened last week, I was a little worried, or 2 weeks ago, I mean. Anyway, she frets Natsu, and right then Natsu opens the tent. You called? He's in my room. And we see Urza kind of mumbles in her sleep. I mean, it's the girls' tent. Don't come in here. And he looks down, and he sees Urza in her sleep. Urza is sleeping, huh? I was about to as well, so go away. Yeah, I was treated really badly today, so it's time for some retribution. Hand me a pen. How was he treated? Oh, because she was chasing him all over for erasing the map. I'm super sleepy though. And the sun rises, and we see the face that Natsu drew on Urza. Good morning, everyone. What's with that face? Natsu laughs out words. Natsu, you bastard! And she swings a sword at him. Why me? And he's also got in Wendy and Lucy. Why me too? I shouldn't have fallen asleep so quickly. Natsu will be okay. I've decided to believe that. I don't believe that. Natsu, there's gonna be some kind of reckoning there. To be continued. That is the end of this week's chapter. So yeah, this was a pretty good chapter. Now that we've accepted that Mercphobia is alive, we can not complain about it too much. But yeah, the chapter's pretty good. We get a good chunk of it is exposition. Mercphobia telling them about the other god dragons. Of course, Ignia is not the first one we're going to be focusing on, because that would be dealing with your problems way too early. Next, we're going to try to find information on the wood god dragon Aldron. We also learned about Selene, the moon god, and the metal god Beerness, who we actually didn't really learn anything about because Merkfovia has never met him. But yeah. Also, if they're not really much of a unit, I'm curious now why that's Eleftheria's focus. Especially what we saw in the flashback way back in Chapter 1. Seems to imply that he was just, like, trying to protect mages in general. So I don't know. So there has to be some kind of encounter with the god dragons that Eleftheria has had, to kind of lead to this desire to have them put down. I imagine we'll get more on that as the series goes on, though. Anyway, after that, we have some resolution to Merkfovia and Caramel. Again, I still wish Merkfovia had actually been killed in 22, but it's a sweet scene if Merkfovia has to survive. And then we have some comedy in the wilderness. Not a lot to say there, other than we now have a destination of Draseel. We also do get a little bit of context for Giltena. We see Magia Dragon was actually not that far from Elmina. And Draseel is like several times that length from Elmina to Draseel and from Magia Dragon to Elmina. But yeah, we're moving on to the next part of the arc, I'm not quite sure how to classify that. But yeah, it's mostly some exposition and some comedy. And it mostly works. It's a pretty good chapter. But yeah, that's really all there is to say about this chapter, so I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video. If you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy. And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!